Good afternoon, YouTube viewers and subscribers. So it's been a while since I've actually done an engine inventory of all the engines I've got, and I just completed that. And in one of my engine totes where I have a bunch of unboxed engines, there probably were some engines that have not been touched in really probably 2 years. And the engine I've got in front of me right now is probably one of them I haven't touched in a while. It's an OS46SF engine. This is an engine that was given to me by a good friend Rob, 3-4 years ago. And like I said, it's probably been at least 2 years since I ran it. So the purpose of this video is to show a gummed up engine and how easily it can be freed up. Now I can guarantee you that I didn't put after-run oil in this engine because it doesn't smell like it. This is one of those things where this wasn't an engine I really, I won't say I didn't care about it, but I really didn't care to protect it too well. So it was run dry, and then now it's in this state where it's very stiff. In fact, the carb, well, okay, the carb does open. It's pretty stiff. Suffice it to say, very, very gummed up. Now what I want to do first is I want to open up the rear cover so that we can see what the internal condition is like. Now this engine has been in a tote in my home, so it's been in an environmentally controlled area, but it has not been in a bag. As I said, I did not put after-run oil in it. So I've got my heat gun here right next to me. I don't normally bring that in the house, just for safety reasons, but I'm going to do it here on camera anyway. So let's look and see what our engine looks like inside. So it looks pretty nice in there. I still feel oil, oil residue, so there is still a little bit of liquid there, but this engine turns over. It's pretty stiff. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to heat this up just slightly. This isn't a heat resistant glove either. Here's my big heat gun. I just want to heat it up a little bit and see if this is enough to just free it up, make it operate a little more smoothly. Now I did not put any oil in this at all. The bad thing is I've only got one glove here, so this could get kind of interesting. So yes, it's freed up considerably in just that little bit of heating I did. In fact, I didn't even heat it up enough. I only had it on the warm setting. I didn't have it on super hot. So this isn't even really hot to the touch, but yet it's much more free. So those of you that have gummed up engines and you think, well, they're automatically bad, first of all, they're not. Just try heating them up. And as you can see, even my bearings in there don't look bad. They've got a little bit of fuel residue on them, but that's it. So now I'm just going to put regular Marvel mystery oil in here. Pretty liberally, actually. So I can preserve this engine a little bit better than I did. I'll put some on the barrel, open the throttle, squirt a whole bunch in there, and of course, since I don't have the cover on, that's all pouring out. What I like to do when I oil up an engine for long-term storage is I like to put enough oil in there that when I rotate it through, I actually start to see the Marvel mystery oil coming out the front bearing. And that's why I'll kind of keep it tipped up like this. Well, I don't have the cover on, which is a good reason, but to make sure you get, because see, if you've got your rear cover off, it's easy to make sure you get oil on your bearing. It's not so easy to make sure you get it on the front. So with these two-stroke engines, what I'll do is I'll open up the carb all the way, shoot a whole bunch of oil down there, and then just keep rotating until I start to see oil dripping out from the front bearing area. That came from the rear because I don't have the cover on. which I guess I could throw the cover back on now. And this engine is freed up, and at this point I could actually just go put it on the stand or an airplane and run it. It's good enough to be run right now. There's no need for any further inspection of the bearings or anything, because that gumminess is actually the caster from the fuel drying and solidifying, and that caster barrier, dried caster barrier, actually provides a barrier to rust, and it preserves the integrity of steel parts. So just because an engine is gummed up with caster residue does not mean that's a bad thing at all. In fact, it actually kind of means it's a good thing, because all it really requires is a little bit of heat to at least get it freed up so that you can rotate it through and test the compression. And then once it's freed up, also allows you to be able to disassemble it if necessary, or maybe if you free it up enough, you just run it. See, this engine's ready to go right now. So that's all there is to freeing up a gummed up engine.